The ancient Chinese civilization, one of the world's earliest, flourished in the fertile basin of the Yellow River in the North China Plain. The climate of China is extremely diverse, ranging from tropical in the far south to subarctic in the far north. In the north, summer is hot and dry with a short rainy season in July and August, whereas the winter is long and rigorous. In the south, the opposite is true. Summer is long, hot, and moist, and winter is short. Wind and precipitation occurrences, known as monsoon winds, dominate the climate during the summer. These winds carry warm and moist air from the south and deliver the vast majority of the annual precipitation in much of the country. In the east of China, two long rivers flow, the Yellow and the Yangtze River. Here there is plenty of water for crops and agriculture. They carried crops by a pole hung across their shoulders with bags at the end to hold the grain, and their irrigation system was a foot-powered pump. The Chinese, even today, revere wugu, the 5 sacred grains, which are traditionally considered soybeans, wheat, hemp, and 2 types of millet. Fish was important to the Chinese too. By 100 BC, artificial ponds were made to breed carp. For shelter, certain materials and techniques, such as pounded earth foundations, timber framing, and use of bricks and tile, were present throughout the country. The poor people, or peasants, wore clothing made from hemp, a rough material made from plant fibers. It was durable and good for working in the fields. On the other hand, the people of higher status wore clothes made of silk. Silk is made from the cocoons of silkworms and is soft, light, and beautiful. Harsh winters in the north made it difficult to maintain a year-long supply of food. Heat became a major problem for the Chinese people in the south during summertime by destroying crops, drying up rivers, and killing animals. Also, the monsoon season can often cause major floods that destruct houses, streets, and agriculture endeavors. Because of the hard life their ancestors endured, the Chinese are very resourceful, adaptable, and not wasteful. I've concluded that the gods that made the best impact on creation of the world in Chinese mythology were Panku and Yin Yang. In the beginning there was nothing in the universe except a formless chaos, which began to form into a cosmic egg. Within it, the perfectly opposed principles of yin and yang became balanced, and Pangu emerged. He first separated yin from yang, creating the earth and the sky. To keep them separated, Pangu stood between them and pushed up the sky, and that's how we believe the construction of the earth started. After separating the earth and the sky, Pangu needed to finish the earth before he died, and he did so by creating many geographical factors using his chisel and his body. For example, his 4 limbs became the 4 quarters of the earth, his breath became wind, his voice turned into thunder, his flesh became soil, his head became mountains, and his blood became rivers. Before he died, he separated the world into 33 levels for heavens and 18 for hells. The other theory of world creation in the Chinese culture was yin and yang. Yin and yang originated the principle of complete opposites to construct the world. While yin was a female passive negative principle in nature, yang was a male active positive one. Yang produced fire, or the sun, while yin produced water and the moon. While yin was bright, she rose up to create the sky. On the contrary, while yang was dark, he sank down to create the earth. In Chinese mythology, Nu Kua is the alleged creator of human beings. Nu Kua became bored in Panku's world, so she decided to create human figures out of yellow clay. At times she became restless, so instead of handcrafting, she flicked off blobs of clay to make common people, whereas the more finished figures represent nobility. In the Chinese culture, Panku's separation of heavens and hells demonstrates their strong belief in the afterlife. Nu Kua set the baseline for rich and poor humans by the look of her finished products, and in the Chinese culture, appearances, physical state, and/or character play important factors in a person's status. Lastly, yin-yang refers to the balance of opposing forces in order to maintain good health, prosperity, and life as a whole, all important to the Chinese. Tumu is the goddess of the North Star, but more importantly, she controlled who lived and died. She is pictured as very kind and full of pity for human suffering. Yanlo Wang is the god of the dead, and he controlled hell, keeping track of every soul that entered. However, despite being the controller of a hell, instead of having a very devilish personality, he showed great leniency towards guarding the souls. He was one of 10 kings of hell, connected to 9 other gods to form a band called the 10 Kings. Mu King is the ruler of the gods and keeps a list of all the immortals. Mu King also holds the power of Yang, the distinct male principle of the gods of China. As the power of Yang, Mu King is married to the power of Yin, Si Wang Mu. Si Wang Mu represents Yin, the distinct passive female principle of the gods of China, who empowered the Chinese women and stressed the importance of women outside the ordinary stereotypical roles. She's represented as a very friendly, powerful, and beautiful goddess. Since Mu King and Si Wang Mu were married, I'm assuming they got along. Whereas, Yan Lo Wing and Tu Mu are opposites. And according to the principles of yin yang, all of the opposing gods would need to get along, be balanced, and in harmony with one another in order to sustain a stable earth. Again, I'm assuming they did get along. First of all, we can connect why the Chinese are very superstitious. They provide offerings like food and money to persuade the powerful gods to give them a better life on earth. An example would be one who lights incense to worship Tumu for a long life. Secondly, even the god of hell, Yan Lo Wang, still showed empathy towards keeping the souls in hell safe, meaning that the Chinese as a whole must have a great respect for human life and afterlife in general. 10 suns took turns heating the earth, but their boredom drove them to all shine at once, causing a major drought in China. Hui had the role of disciplining the lazy suns to stop their foolishness. He was originally underestimated and mocked by the suns for his social status, but he knew he was more than a servant, and he shot 9 of the suns to demonstrate his authority. Hui embodied discipline. The moral of the story is how the suns had inappropriately used their responsibilities, underestimated Hui, and eventually paid the price, similar to the common moral, don't judge a book by its cover. Fu Shi educated the underprivileged by teaching them life skills, but he gave them one important gift to remain humble, which was a pipa, a Chinese lute which reminded storytellers of their humble beginnings. Fu Shi's main feat was helping the underprivileged. He embodied the importance of remaining patient when teaching, being generous towards those who need it, and remaining humble with new skills. The moral of this myth is to always remember your humble beginnings in the face of success. Initially, Yu's father tried stopping China's flood by stealing magic dirt, but was killed for stealing. Yu wanted to fulfill his father's wishes, so he asked permission from the emperor to use the magic dirt. Through much hard work and personal hardship, he successfully accomplished his father's goal. Yu embodied the values of honesty and determination. Rather than deceive people like his father, Yu was honest, upfront, and hardworking, and that's why he got the job done. The Chinese culture instills the importance of discipline and respect to their young. Hu Yi was trying to do the same to the sons, yet they still ignored his pleas for discipline. Fu Shi's teachings play a big role in the Chinese work ethic today. They pass down knowledge to help others who aren't as fortunate, and yet they try not to be arrogant or boastful. You recognize the importance to learn from your mistakes and work hard to fix them with honesty and integrity to get things done, which is what the Chinese culture believes. Nian was a very ugly and ferocious beast that looked like a dragon or a unicorn. The Chinese believed he was very scary and evil. He was a threat because the monster would hunt people each lunar month, so people would be very frightened. One man believed that making loud noises would threaten the dragon, and eventually it ran away, and when he was exhausted, the people killed the evil monster. Gong Gong had red hair, a human face, and a snake's body. He was ambitious, cruel, and vicious, but simple-minded. Gong Gong lost the fight with the Chinese god of fire to claim the throne of heaven. Angry, he smashed his head against the pillar supporting the sky, which caused a misalignment between the atmosphere and the earth. The goddess Nua, the girl who made humans out of clay, had to fix it. Myths today state that Gong Gong snuck away and still remains at larges somewhere in the world. Zhang Lu was a 9-headed snake monster whose very being had been dipped in poison. Zhang Lu was pure evil. Zhang Lu completely escaped. Wherever he went, the snake left pestiferous blood that poisoned crops and civilization. The hero Yu, who previously used magic dirt, excavated a deep valley to rid the world of Zhang Lu's toxins, and Nua slayed him with a sword for good. Nian's story plays a pretty big role in the Chinese traditions today. Since then, people have been beating drums and gongs and lighting fireworks at the coldest day in winter to drive the imaginary monsters away and to celebrate their victory. Monsters, evil, and death are all taboo in Chinese culture, and rituals and ceremonies to ward them off are commonplace.